So getting into bed by 10 o'clock with lights out, I don't know how many people can do it, but when you do, you're going to feel a lot better. You'll sleep a lot better. So we want to replace those nutrients that can reduce side effects that are caused by medications. Anyone know that CoQ10 is necessary for heart function? It's a very strong antioxidant. Anyone know that statin drugs robs the heart from CoQ10? So every prescription medicine robs us from some nutrients. I think it's pretty dangerous. It's probably malpractice in a certain sense to give a statin drug without CoQ10. So over-the-counter drugs, they're so easy to get, people take tons of them. How many people take Tylenol here for headaches? Just a couple. How about ibuprofen? A few more. All that stuff is accumulated in your liver, in your system, in your kidneys. It's not like you do it once in a while and it's okay. It's not good for us. I know we all need it once in a while, but try to keep it in the background. Tylenol overdose. Anyone hear about people dying from liver failure from Tylenol? Young girls do. They want to get a lot of attention or they're very depressed. They'll eat a bottle of Tylenol. It's the most common thing they do. And their liver goes into distress. And it's a very tough thing to overcome. I've been in the intensive care unit from people taking too many anti-inflammatory medications, where it burns a hole through the stomach. Talk about a toxin. 30,000 deaths a year from that. So, if anyone takes anti-inflammatories, don't be taking that with aspirin and with fish oil, because you can have a bleeding problem in your brain. Be careful how much of this stuff you take. Very toxic. Caffeine. We all love that, don't we? Feels great, doesn't it?
No.
It's one of the biggest causes I see in my office for hypertension and arrhythmias. A lot of people come in, their heart's missing beats. They have what are called premature ventricular responses. Okay? Anyone have funny heartbeats every once in a while? Stop the caffeine and see if it goes away. It usually does. So it's an overused stimulant. I don't know if this is good or bad, but Starbucks seems to be going out of business. Leads to adrenal burnout. Anytime we use a stimulant, our adrenal gland, what it's doing really is taking a little whip and whipping our little adrenal glands. They don't like that. They give out. Probably just about everyone in this room has what we call adrenal fatigue to some extent. The way you find out is you can take an adrenal saliva test, morning, noon, late afternoon, and evening. So what you do is morning, you spit in the test tube, put it in the fridge. Noon, spit in the test tube, put it in the fridge. Late afternoon, spit in the test tube, put it in the fridge, and before you go to sleep, same thing. So morning, noon, early evening, late evening. You'll see where your cortisol level is. Cortisol is a stress hormone, and if it is very low, and I have a lot of flatliners that come into my office, their complaint is, I feel very fatigued. I lost my mojo. What's up? They don't have adrenal support to produce enough cortisol. And why is that? Because for many years they were running a little too fast. The adrenal glands were pumping real hard, and the cortisol was real high to keep up with the energy needed. And what happens? They get tired. They don't produce much cortisol. We need a healthy supply of cortisol to keep our energy working. Okay? Things like caffeine. Well, I mean, why do we take caffeine? Because we're running harder than the body wants us to run. Isn't that true? I mean, if you're sitting home relaxed or sitting at the beach, you don't really have to drink coffee down there. I'm not saying everybody should chill like that, but my point is, be cautious about what you're putting in your body. There's a lot of toxins that are used as chemicals in growing and processing coffee. The oils can become rancid, and they can be irritating with the acids, as I mentioned. A lot of people that have reflux, where they're burning in the esophagus, get them off coffee. It stops. You can also use supplements like the deglycerized licorice and glutamine, use probiotics. That'll help get rid of that too. Stay away from the medicines that get rid of reflux, Prilosec and all of those. Cause oxidative stress and other toxins in the body. There's natural ways to do it. This is cool. Drink decaf instead, right? Not as much caffeine. What's the problem? It's treated with chemicals that are not very good for you. So I would say if you need a stimulant, a little bit, drink the green tea. At least you're getting something great out of it with all the acid and things. Okay, so other sources of caffeine. Tons of stuff. Cocoa, cola, energy drinks. Those are a huge hit now. The amount of caffeine that goes into those and other stimulants is ridiculous. I was just asked to do an infomercial for one, and I was afraid to do it. It wasn't that I just didn't like the idea. I was afraid someone was going to die from a heart attack from it. They have, ephedrine was made illegal as a stimulant. And when I was an attorney many years ago, a woman came to me for wrongful death. Her son dropped dead in the street from taking ephedrine. He was a bodybuilder. And I realized how dangerous those things are. Now they have similar things, but they're not called ephedrine, and they pack them into these drinks. So I mentioned green tea has 1/3 the caffeine, and it is ECGC, which is that very strong antioxidant. We all need as many antioxidants as we can get in our system. Over the counter, no-dose, Vivarin, there's a lot of those. You can go to a gas station, when you're driving all night long, you need some chemistry to get you going, some caffeine. They have these little packs, you just take some pills, you crank up. That's for the people that can't stand the acid of the coffee. Weight control. Boy, there's so many different weight control pills out there. Dexatrim, Dietec, all those things, stay away from. How do you control weight? Eat proper foods. You don't have to go on a diet. Just change the foods to foods that don't turn quickly into sugar. It's simple. What's in Excedrin and Anacin? Caffeine. Helps get rid of headaches. A lot of times headaches are from expanded blood vessels. Take caffeine, it constricts them, the headaches go away. PMS relief, same things, Midol, Aquaban. Cold remedies, Dristan, Sinarest. All stimulants. Anyone ever take a cold remedy and they can't sleep at night? That's what it is. Did I write down enough negative effects of caffeine here? I've got 10 more slides with more. No, I'm just kidding. I'll just flip through these really quick because some are important we haven't discussed yet. Obviously, nervousness that people get. There's a friend of mine who loves coffee, and every time he takes a drink of coffee, his shirt becomes sopping wet. He sweats, but he loves the coffee. He loves that rush. It causes headaches, rebound headaches. A lot of people will drink caffeine to get rid of their headache, then they stop, and the headaches come back. A lot of people will take ibuprofen or something like that for headaches consistently, chronically, and then they stop. What do they get? Headaches. If you're going to wean off of things like caffeine, do it slowly. If it's coffee, drink half an ounce a day less. Don't do it quickly. And the final day, try to do it on a day where you can sleep an extra hour or two. Heartburn, that's a killer for a lot of people. What happens with caffeine? It opens up the sphincter between the stomach and the esophagus, just pops it right open. What happens? The acids in the stomach then leak up into the esophagus and burn it. Anyone here that drinks coffee and has heartburn? Only one, two. That's pretty good. Increased hydrochloric acid production, same thing from caffeine. Diarrhea, some people get that. Some people actually drink coffee to go to the bathroom every day, right? The stimulatory effect. Insomnia is obvious. Kidney stones, who needs that? Those are killers. They say that's the same kind of feeling as having a baby. Not much fun. This is big though. Loss of minerals, depletion of B vitamins. These are needed for detoxification. Reduced absorption of iron. Reduced absorption of calcium. What happens to our bones? What happens to our bones when we get older? Osteoporosis for a lot of us. Caffeine assists in that process. So does acid. Depletion of vitamin C. Now, unfortunately, human beings don't create their own vitamin C, so they get a lot of colds and flus. You ever see a dog sneeze? Not really. They have a little thing if there's some dirt in there, but they don't get colds. they produce huge volumes of